Well, hey, greetings, welcome back. I'm Imperial Jedi. This is episode 11.5. Actually, kind of an oddball here, but we're doing half episodes every once in a while, just to kind of get some detailing done, maybe a little bit of follow-up afterthought. And yes, there's a fire. I see it. I'm trying to ignore it. Maybe you can ignore it too, don't worry. Hopefully it doesn't spread. But yeah, nothing, like, we're not going to build anything grandiose. Maybe we'll add, like, a road or two, but I'm not trying to add, like, a whole new neighborhood on to confuse people for episode 12. And I thought, you know, like, kind of the after-party vibes, maybe we talk about stuff that, like, can become some inside jokes, who knows? Some stuff where if you're not here, you don't know, right? But no, let's, just a little bit of building and detailing. And I think kind of, like, given the fact that there's a fire, and I totally forgot to put fire stations, maybe I can just put one of those down. Let me just plop one down really quick here. But yeah, I enjoyed this here. This kind of turned out really nicely. Just needs a little bit of, you know, some of the holes filled in. Do a little chit chat about kind of future expanse, and then just pop over other side over here. Just a little bit of of detailing, I guess, right? Anyway, the only road I really want to add, which I meant to do earlier, was actually this. I was kind of fumbling about that guy. Don't really want that to have the two-way traffic, even though I'm kind of on the fence. But just so it doesn't bottleneck for the moment, we'll just do this. And I was actually going to carry the bike lane through. That way in kind of like... Oop, lost a building there, sorry though. That way in kind of a fun way, right? We've got like a corridor for the cars. We've got a corridor for the bicycles. And we've got a corridor for the trams. And we're going to do some really fun stuff with the trams. Like, this is really cool, being able to snap the roads and buildings to it. And we'll just grab some more, like, park life stuff, you know, parks, trees, benches, lampposts. We'll do a little bit of detailing. And I'm going to do, like, hints of that in, like, the regular series, too. I just want to devote, like, 20 minutes only to that. Because for sure, someone's going to be like, I am not here for this. But if you guys are here for it, then, you know, that's how you're clicking on the half episodes, right? And so, yeah, we'll just do half episodes, like, here and there. Okay, where do we start, man? There's so much to do here. Let me jump into this spot here. Okay, we might lose a little bit of the homes, but that's alright. You know, eminent domain. I was saying before, it's real, but oh boy. Okay. Not an exact science, but let's try and get some pathways through here. And I might just run a dirt pathway next to this one. Just to make this one seem like it's a little bit wider, and if I can get it really, really close, we won't really see any holes in the, yeah, that's nice. And if we got a few, we can put some trees down. Oh, actually, since I have you, do you mind, one of you, just responding in the comments, if you don't happen to have, like, the Park Life DLC, Industries DLC, do you still get fencing? Like, is this tab even there for you? If not, just use trees as fencing, right? I guess it's kind of my weird takeaway. But it's just, like, you know, it's been so long since I played, like, base game, and I always just kind of forget, like, what's not part of the DLCs or the digital deluxe or any of that stuff. I guess theoretically, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I guess I could probably just turn those off and then see myself, you know, but that takes time. And you guys are so awesome, right? So maybe one of you could help me out. Probably someone's like, oh great, Imperial and his minions now. No, nothing like that. I'm not trying to make you guys do my bidding. Just little helpful things like this, right? I feel like it helps everybody too, you know? One of you's probably like, sure, no, that's true. Let's just unzone that bit. And you know what? I actually want to maybe change one of these over to be high density, maybe up here. Actually, you know, I have a fun idea. Let's say that for the next one over, but let's do a little community center thing in here. This one we'll just keep as is. We're just gonna use some more like detailing props and stuff that we like haven't used yet. Kind of take our detailing a little bit further than normal. Which I believe is the point of these episodes. Alright, so just unzone that. But yeah, since you guys are here, I'll kind of drop a couple cool little tidbits of knowledge too. Just so you can be like, oh, okay. Not a total waste of time being here. But yeah, just a fun little tidbit. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's some free DLCs and free content for this game. Oh, someone about to click off was like, hold on, wait a minute, free? You got my attention. You got 2 seconds. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go. How about free stadiums? Oh, okay, you're sitting back down now, okay. So Match Day, right, since I got you. Match Day is a free DLC. Do a little search for it. You get one free football stadium. These guys here, awesome. They're clones, kind of copycats of real stadiums. Colossal Order, for a very short period of time, had the commercial rights to sell a DLC pack that had these. They unfortunately do not have that DLC pack anymore, and then this became a free DLC just for fun. So for the football stadium, really, really cool. Awesome way to kind of make some money as well. It's super expensive. So we're going to place that, I think, somewhere, as a fun little spoiler, I think somewhere down here. Where are we? Oh, no, wrong spot of the city. Yeah, I want that somewhere in this spot here. I want some like tall buildings, some unique buildings in this quadrant. I really want this to kind of tie in. Now that it's like underdeveloped and just sitting on its own, it feels very like stark. And I've had a few people be like, okay, what are you thinking here? But all right, bigger picture, and it'll be really cool when traffic's really moving on it. But I think like, yeah, baseball stadium or just something cool over here. Something grandiose. And that one's modeled for European football, which would be like American soccer. Also curious how that's like a different thing too. Anyway, that's a total other debate, but that's not what we're here for. And sometimes I'll mix that up. I might say football when I mean soccer and vice versa, right? So, forgive me. Yeah, I think something that's definitely like not underlooked, but maybe like not necessarily thought of, but stadiums. They're like an important part of bigger cities. You know, university campuses have them, smaller sports fields in your, you know, your high school areas. Definitely not impossible, right? So I think we'll put one of those in. And if you happen to have the campus DLC, which is one of the newer ones, the campuses are awesome. Like, they're giant, they're like super oversized. The building's gargantuan. Like, I love them in that sense. But one of the coolest things, though, is you actually get a whole bunch of stadiums, which are also like gargantuan. Like, look at this. So that's an aquatic center. This could be a giant, like, you know, we can do like expo, aquatic center, giant gymnasium, community center vibe somewhere. This one is a basketball arena. So there's cool stuff to put in this city. The one I really want to use is, where are you? Yeah, the baseball park. We'll put that somewhere fun. That'll be great on the waterfront. Yeah, so don't be afraid to start looking at the DLCs. I think I mentioned before, like, just put them on your wish list if you're on Steam. Take a look at both the Paradox store and Steam when you're looking to make your purchases. If you buy something off Paradox, they're going to give you a code that you can put into your Steam, and it'll just kind of activate the game there. So don't feel like you're like, oh, I can't play it on Steam, I have to buy the game all over again. No, don't, nothing like that. All right, so let's just do something that we really haven't done before, which is starting to use more of the props. So these things here are pretty fresh and fun. And I think most of these are part of, I want to say, again, the Park Life DLC. So we just, you know, a couple little benches here and there. And make things feel nice and safe. We can put in some lamps. Maybe make that a little bit more even Steven. A little garbage can. And then if we go over to the Park Life, I don't know if I can snap these in or not. It may have to be part of the park. Oh, of course, we're part of the park because we're close to the pathway. But like this kind of stuff, right? We can snap down some little picnic tables. We have the city park sign. Well, I guess these can kind of go anywhere they want. You know, if we wanted to, we could do our own little row of lighting, especially just in that little spot there. And there exists just a very, very, very small zone, sometimes in between. I think we got too close here. So let's just do that part being well lit. And then I think I actually want that, it's one of my favorite assets to use. I'll probably use it again in like 2 minutes anyway. But I just love having this thing. So let's put one of these right on the corner post. This kind of detailing, like, just, you know, don't feel like you have to build the biggest city. You know, I've had a lot of comments, especially recently, a lot of new players into the game, right? And they're saying like, oh, I can't build these giant cities. My computer can barely run it. Well, that's okay. Don't build a big city. Just do a neighborhood and then just like go in for the micro. You know, do these kind of details and feels. And you'll have so much fun, and you'll still get the eye candy. You'll still get everything. But like, this could be the size of your city, right? And then just perfect it. Who says you have to have 100,000 people? You know, have a few little community buses going. Still have the metro, but just don't feel like there's limitations. That's all. You know, why are there fires everywhere? You're trying to be motivational and have fun, and oh my goodness, poor city's breaking in front of me, burning down. Nah, that's all right. I think we're okay. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. And then yeah, let's do a little bit more of that, but just kind of like tied into this. I think that'll be kind of cool. Just making sure we're definitely in. We're almost completely in. Stretch that back over. And that's just so we can snap the park life stuff like basically onto the pathways or onto the tram tracks. Without that, we'd have to be doing it right onto the road itself. So it depends on what you're looking for. You can definitely achieve, I think, what you're after. That's cool, but it does kind of warp that parking lot, so let's move this slightly up. Okay. And then just a gentle fence to cover part of this. You know, just hide some of the boundaries, right? No one has to know where the fence is. You see parts of it. That's all that matters. And yeah, let's start using some of the cool stuff over here. And like, you know, I'd kind of go from like two sides of this, right? Yes, this feels like it's a copycat, but at the same time, maybe it adds to the theme. Maybe it was the same developer that did this area, right? So of course you'd see this pop up again. And there are other moments where I'm like, no, I'm using this too often, but I don't know. It depends on how you feel that day, right? But yeah, when you're sitting back, you know, like eating dinner, watching the city go by. I don't know if you guys do that, but I love doing that. People watching in this city is one of my favorite things. Yeah, it's just nice to see like more of this kind of stuff. You know, and if the Sims are in the way, they're kind of walking through it, you can move that back, right? Nothing's really set in stone here. But if you know, if you're new to the game, right, this kind of stuff might just be like a little bit too much, which is a very fair statement to make, right, I think. But if you get to a point where like you understand the game mechanics and you're looking to detail and you don't have the mods, you know, you're on console, like this is the way to make the cities feel unique and fresh. And not only that, right, if you have a creative outlet, right, you'll just feel so good. It just melts the stress away. This is like painting, but you're using a different medium to do it. You know, and then I think one of the greatest things about this game is like then just sharing, you know, sharing what you've done, what you've made. It's cool. I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is probably one of the most multiplayer, single-player games ever made. Like, what do you even need multiplayer for? You know, we're just playing it all together right now. But it's just really cool, and like, the fact that we all play it so differently, I think for me that's one of the most fantastic things about Skylines. You know, someone from Europe, of course, would make, like, you know, more roundabouts and the highways are different, just the thought process is different, because it just makes so much sense, right? You're from an entirely different part of the world. Whereas, like, North American players are like, oh, you know, the highway goes here. You know, cars go there. Why would you have that, you know? Whereas the other argument would be like, why don't you have that? Oh, by the way, some of these radio stations are going to interfere with, like, YouTube's copyright system. In case you're wondering why I'm kind of, like, picking and choosing the ones I am. And also, I would argue that some of them are, like, way more chill than others. Some just might get a little bit too rambunctious. You don't actually have to connect it. The pathway will kind of auto-complete, so we don't have to lose the building right there. May or may not have known that. Okay, so what's a little bit more we can do? I think we can probably add in, again, I'm not really trying to add too much stuff, but maybe we can put one more building in here. It's more like we're just kind of improving on the areas we already have versus trying to like add new stuff to it. And also, this is just really so we can get caught up in our detailing, which will just fall behind, unfortunately. So we gotta be efficient, we gotta be smart about it. We have to have the desire to do it still, which I do. I think it's worth it. Oh, cool. Crowd control. Maybe we can use these as bicycle locks. Yeah. Just little things, right? Be creative like that. All right, what's going to go here? Maybe a plaza, actually, just in the corner. And the detailing of this, I don't think at all it lowers or raises land value. Sorry, I think it's just for fun. That's way too big. Putting things down like parks, though, that definitely helps raise the land value. You know, maybe just fencing. Maybe just fencing in a tree. Maybe I'm getting a little bit carried away. Sometimes, of course, less is more, right? Yeah, it's a nice building, too. Some fun stuff there. You know, in terms of, like, the approach, we're going to do the rest as the green cities. I'm going to keep this one just European suburbia. Kind of nice to throw these in every once in a while. We'll keep that just, I think, oh, did I mention this? Am I going in a circle? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Yeah, we'll keep this, oh, I really feel like I've said this already. Yeah, we'll keep this as it is, because we already detailed it. Oh boy, are we having that deja vu, or is it just me? Anyway, I think that you know the game plan, whether it's your second, third, or eighth time hearing it now. But yeah, let's just jump over. Let's do a little bit more detailing over here, get caught up in the whole grand picture of it all. And, you know, every like 3-4 episodes, 5 episodes or whatever. No real magic number for this, but we'll just do more of these kind of things just to get caught up. And I think like once in a blue moon, I will do some of this just by myself. I highly, highly doubt it'll be frequently though. And it's just, you know, maybe every like 10 or so episodes or so as well. We'll just have like a generic episode of just doing some improvements. Little touch-ups to the city, right? Maybe, you know, something we built early on was working, and then now it's not. It's just too much volume for that area, blah, blah, blah. We need some, you know, pedestrian overpasses, that kind of stuff, right? And I think, too, when I was new to the game, I was very, like, intimidated when it came to, like, especially, like, whole neighborhoods, just deleting stuff and starting fresh. I'd almost want to, like, start the whole city all over again. Which I did a few times. Then it got to a point, it's like, why do that, though? Like, what is the ultimate goal of that? You know, you're always going to run into mistakes. You can't have this, like, picture-perfect speed run, get to all milestones, right? I'm sure you could, but, like, why play Skylines that way? Like, that's not the point of this game, right? And so, yes, the more I play, the more I try to slow it down. Which is why sometimes, like, nothing gets built when we're, you know, in the middle of just chit-chatting, right? But no, like, to each their own when it comes to this game, right? But I think for me, it's kind of like, you know, it's like Sudoku, it's like a crossword puzzle, it's like painting, it's like the show and tell. I look at this game still with like childlike wonder and amazement, and just like sometimes seeing the eye candy of it all. Even it can just be as something as simple as like cars going through an intersection, just people walking by. I have no idea how to explain it. It's just so wonderful that this is a game. And you know, when you're a kid and you're playing like SimCity, like the original, or SimCity on like Nintendo, right? Like this is what it felt like in your mind, and to see it now as a game, like that's crazy. Maybe it's the nostalgia that's doing it then. Either way, I am just thoroughly impressed that, like, you know, 5 years in, we're still playing this game. It is wonderful. It is aged beautifully, and it's only getting better. Like, we'll play this game till the end of time, it feels like. Not only that, the series, it just feels so good to get back. You know, good to connect with you guys, and like, it's just awesome that the game is the medium. I love it. That's good. That wasn't so bad. The only thing is you can't really like, get through, so it's kind of like one long way. Very different than over here, too. Maybe what we can do is that one be similar to this. Yeah, let's just do that really quickly. Yeah, you guys have just made this an amazing journey. It literally seems crazy to me that 5 years later, it's just all the same faces, so many familiar people in the chat, a lot of new people too. And I tell you, you know, if you're brand new to the game, us people that have been here for a while, like, we are so jealous. If we could go back and just, you know, forget everything that we know and just play those, you know, first few days of Skylines again, man. That looked a little bit bizarre, didn't it? Yeah, let's not do that. So if you're brand new to the game, maybe you're on the fence, you're just kind of checking out, who knows how you fell into this rabbit hole of Skylines with us, but, like, you're in for a treat. And it literally is thousands of hours. Like, there are people, including myself, that have the same city going for, like, well over a year. And you get series on the go, you just have new ideas. It's great. How does a game deliver those feels? It's also kind of why, like, when I have people that are new to the game, when they're like, what DLC should I get? I'm like, all of them. They're like, what? I'm like, maybe not at once, but yeah, don't worry about it. And they're like, it's over, you know, I know it's expensive, but if you divide that by, like, cost for, like, time played or whatever, man, it's, like, crazy. I hope no one from, you know, Paradox Colossal's watching, but I honestly, at this point, knowing what I know now, I'd pay like $100 for the base game. If they had like a AAA price when it came out, if it was like $80 or something, I'd be like, okay, sure. It'd be a tough pill to swallow at the time, but oh my goodness. In retrospect, I would have paid any money. I could have just been like, here's all my credit cards, you tell me which ones are the winners, you know? You just tell me a price that's fair. But no, I was just kind of speaking of Colossal Order 2, like, of all the companies out there, like, they're the good guys. I'm really happy it's in their hands. You know, if it was like EA, not to like put people under the bus or anything, right? But I'm pretty sure each DLC would be like $45 or something. No free updates. That's crazy. Like, how could a company do that, eh? They have a free DLC update whenever they do a paid portion. Like, everybody wins. Like, what company does that? Unheard of. And I'm not getting paid to say this, by the way, in case you're like, all right, Imperial, slow down. No, man, this is me just saying that, you know? Okay, that's cool. I might throw a little bit more trees in here. We'll kind of see, though. The fencing on the hills, I'm always like, you know, I'm like on the fence about it, not to like make a weird pun here, but you know, whenever I walk around in real life, I kind of see that fences do follow topography like that, but I think in like this scenario, someone would have like, you know, filled in the backyard more, but I don't know, I might come back later. Anyway, you guys are wonderful. Game is wonderful. Things are wonderful. And it's only getting better. But let's wrap up here, guys. Just little bits of detail, and this is kind of fun little afterthought, after chat as well. So what did we do? Just added a bike lane, nothing too crazy. We cut back on the bottleneck by putting another way in, right? Previously, the only way through was just kind of here. Maybe back through here as well, right? But this just gives more options. And I'm probably going to connect this in as well. Continue our bike lane out, and just, yeah, more green vibes through here. Definitely want to fill this in. I'm going to save that for another episode, though, because I think some people might want to see how that's done. But just like, you know, the backyard detailing, little generic chit-chats, doing this kind of stuff, right? It's like, it's not time-consuming, but it's the fun kind of time-consuming, and it just takes up a whole episode sometimes, you know? Anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Keep your eyes peeled for another half episode, and I'll see you guys in episode 12. Thank you very much for all your love and support. Look forward to the comments, and yeah, hopefully like a little inside joke or some kind of memes or something comes from these, you know? I'm sure we'll have some moments. Anyway, guys, you're wonderful. I'll see you again, and I'll still upload these cities as well, so keep a lookout for the description for the link in there. All right, that's it. See you again. Adios, guys.